heart of Asgard, where sunlight poured like honey over lush gardens, Sif tended to her flowers with delicate care. Each petal she touched seemed to bloom brighter under her gentle hands. She moved gracefully among the vibrant hues. Her long, sunlit strands cascaded down her back like a shimmering waterfall. A golden light transformed each strand into threads of pure gold that danced in the soft breeze. Beauty was renowned throughout the realms. Her hair was more than just an adornment. It represented fertility and nourishment for all living things on Midgard. Earth thrived under her loving touch. Every flower reflected her essence, a reminder that life flourished when cared for by those who loved it deeply. Often whispered sweet encouragements to the blossoms, as though they were dear friends. Sif knelt by a cluster of daisies. A familiar rumble echoed through the air, the unmistakable sound of Thor returning home from his latest exploits in battle. His presence filled their garden with warmth and laughter as he approached with tales of his adventures. His mighty frame loomed larger than life against the backdrop of colorful flora. Yet it was his gaze that held Sif captive. There was an unspoken bond between them that transcended words. With every tale Thor recounted of vanquished foes and heroic deeds, his eyes sparkled with admiration for Sif's beauty. He cherished moments spent together in their sanctuary amidst nature's abundance, feeling an overwhelming surge of affection for the woman who stood beside him through thick and thin. Yet unbeknownst to them both, shadows lingered at the edges of their happiness. Loki observed from a distance, perched atop a rocky outcrop where sunlight barely reached. The trickster god had always harbored a mischievous envy toward Thor and Sif's idyllic life, a stark contrast to his own chaotic existence filled with pranks and deception. Loki watched intently as they shared laughter beneath swaying branches adorned with fragrant blooms. Mischievous spark flickered within him as he plotted how best to disrupt this perfect harmony they enjoyed so effortlessly. His mind spun countless schemes, each one darker than the last, until finally he settled upon one that would serve as both revenge and entertainment. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across Asgard's lush landscapes, while Sif continued tending her garden unaware of Loki's scheming thoughts swirling above their tranquil home. Fateful night. While Sif slumbered peacefully within their cozy dwelling, Loki crept inside under the cloak of darkness. With swift precision, he severed her beautiful golden hair while she dreamed undisturbed, a cruel act driven by envy, yet cloaked in feigned admiration. Broke and Sif awoke to find herself bald. Panic consumed her heart. She felt stripped of her identity and worth as a goddess. Despair washed over her like cold waves crashing against rocky shores. Thor returned home soon after, only to find his beloved wife distressed beyond measure. Anger bubbled within him like molten lava, threatening to erupt from deep underground, as he vowed vengeance against whoever had dared wrong her. In his fury, Thor sought out Loki. Confrontation ensued as Thor demanded answers. Loki attempted to deflect blame, but ultimately admitted his part in cutting off Sif's hair, an admission laced with guilt, yet still tinged by mischief. Realizing he must make amends or face dire consequences from Thor's wrath, Loki devised a plan. He would replace Sif's hair with something even more extraordinary than before. He journeyed to Svartalfheim, the realm of dwarves, where skilled artisans crafted magical strands designed not only for beauty, but imbued with otherworldly properties too. During this time apart from Thor and Loki's chaos surrounding them, Freya offered comfort to Sif amidst turmoil, reminding her that true beauty comes not merely from outward appearances, but rather dwells within one's spirit itself. Finally returning triumphantly, with shimmering locks crafted by talented dwarves, Loki placed these magical strands upon Sif's head as she gazed into a mirror, awestruck at their luminous glow, reflecting back at her. Initially hesitant about these new tresses representing power alongside beauty, intertwined intricately together, now became essential parts woven into who she truly was meant to be throughout eternity ahead. Thor observed closely how much brighter hope rekindled within Sif's heart, now adorned anew by these resplendent locks, which embodied resilience, rather than mere physical allure alone, a reflection echoing deeper truths resonating far beyond surface levels found. At oneself entirely. Thus concluded this chapter woven tightly between fate entwined around love, forged amidst trials, faced bravely onward into future awaiting further adventures yet unseen. The garden was tranquil, as Sif tended to. Her vibrant flowers, basking in the warm golden light that enveloped her radiant hair. Each strand shimmered like sunlight itself, harmonizing with the colorful petals surrounding her. Lost in the serenity of nature, she hummed a gentle tune, and the blossoms seemed to bloom brighter under her care, reflecting her essence as Thor's beloved wife, a symbol of fertility and beauty. Shadows lingered nearby. Loki observed from a hidden spot, his heart heavy with envy as he watched their idyllic life unfold. Sif reveled in her splendor. Loki felt an insatiable urge to disrupt their harmony. His mind swirled with mischief, crafting ways to shatter the perfection he so coveted. Twilight descended upon Asgard, cloaking the realm in hues of purple and blue. Sif retired for the night. Stars twinkled overhead, while she drifted into slumber beneath their watchful gaze. This peaceful moment, danger loomed just beyond her dreams. With cunning stealth only a trickster could possess, Loki slipped into their home. Sly grin curled upon his lips as he approached Sif's sleeping form. He marveled at how vulnerable she appeared, her long golden locks sprawled across the pillow, like rays of sunshine spilling onto soft clouds. One swift motion filled with wicked delight. Loki brandished his blade and severed each luminous strand from Sif's head, while whispers of laughter echoed in his mind, a melody woven from jealousy and chaos alike. Light broke through the windows and warmed Sif's cheeks. She stirred awake only to find herself unrecognizable, bald and stripped of her most cherished feature. Panic surged through her veins like icy water. Trembling fingers ran over her scalp, where magnificent gold once cascaded. That harrowing moment, doubt crept into her heart. Without her hair, who was she? The sound of Thor's footsteps echoed through their home as he returned from battle. Joyous anticipation quickly turned to horror upon seeing Sif's distressing state. Anger ignited within him like lightning crackling across stormy skies. Whoever had dared harm his wife would pay dearly for such an affront. Wrapped his arms around Sif tightly, offering solace against the tumult swirling inside both their hearts, even as rage brewed deep within him against Loki's treachery. He whispered fiercely, yet softly against her ear, that he would find Loki and demand justice for this act that sought to diminish all they had built together. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to them both at that moment, Loki watched from afar again. Guilt gnawed him now, mingled with satisfaction at having disrupted their tranquility. And even a trickster must face consequences for meddling too deeply with fate's fragile threads. In the heart of Asgard, where sunlight poured like honey over lush gardens, Sif tended to her flowers with delicate care. Each petal she touched seemed to bloom brighter under her gentle hands. She moved gracefully among the vibrant hues. Her long, sunlit strands cascaded down her back like a shimmering waterfall. Golden hair was more than just an adornment. It represented fertility and nourishment for all living things on Midgard. The earth thrived under her loving touch, reflecting that life flourished when nurtured by those who cared deeply. Day, as Sif knelt by a cluster of daisies, the familiar rumble of Thor returning home filled the air. His presence brought warmth and laughter as he approached with tales of his adventures in battle. His mighty frame loomed larger than life against their colorful sanctuary, yet it was his gaze that captivated Sif. An unspoken bond lay between them, transcending words. Thor recounted stories of vanquished foes and heroic deeds. Admiration sparkled in his eyes as he cherished moments spent together amidst nature's abundance. Yet shadows lingered at the edges of their happiness. Loki observed from a distance, perched atop a rocky outcrop where sunlight barely reached. The trickster god harbored envy towards Thor and Sif's idyllic life, a stark contrast to his chaotic existence filled with pranks and deception. Shared laughter beneath swaying branches adorned with fragrant blooms, Loki plotted how best to disrupt this perfect harmony. Fateful night, while Sif slumbered peacefully within their cozy dwelling, Loki crept inside under the cloak of darkness. With swift precision born from envy cloaked in feigned admiration, he severed her beautiful golden hair while she dreamed undisturbed. Broke and Sif awoke to find herself bald. Panic consumed her heart, despair washed over her like cold waves crashing against rocky shores. Turned soon after only to discover his beloved wife distressed beyond measure. Anger bubbled within him as he vowed vengeance against whoever had dared wrong her. In fury unmatched, Thor sought out Loki for answers. Confrontation ensued as Loki attempted to deflect blame, but ultimately admitted his part in cutting off Sif's hair, an admission laced with guilt, yet still tinged by mischief. Realizing he must make amends or face dire consequences from Thor's wrath, Loki devised a plan. He would replace Sif's hair with something even more extraordinary than before. He journeyed to Svartalfheim, the realm of dwarves, where skilled artisans crafted magical strands designed not only for beauty, but imbued with otherworldly properties too. During this time apart from the chaos surrounding them, Freya offered comfort to Sif amidst turmoil, reminding her that true beauty comes not merely from outward appearances, but rather dwells within one's spirit itself. Finally returning triumphantly, with shimmering locks crafted by talented dwarves, Loki placed these magical strands upon Sif's head as she gazed into a mirror awestruck at their luminous glow, reflecting back at her. Though initially hesitant about these new tresses representing power alongside beauty, intertwined intricately together, now became essential parts woven into who she truly was meant to be throughout eternity ahead. Or observed closely how much brighter hope rekindled within Sif's heart, now adorned anew by these resplendent locks, which embodied resilience, rather than mere physical allure alone, a reflection echoing deeper truths resonating far beyond. Levels found outside oneself entirely. Together they ventured into Asgard's gardens once more, a tapestry woven with colorful blooms and vibrant scents that brought solace to their souls. Freya walked beside Sif among flowers, swaying gently in rhythm with the breeze. Encouraging her to let go of worries about outward appearances became paramount. It was time to embrace who she had become through trials faced rather than dwell on past sorrows, which could never be undone. Days passed as Loki kept close watch over events unfolding around him. Relief washed over him, knowing that despite his mischief causing chaos initially, perhaps things were heading toward reconciliation after all. One evening, while they gathered under painted skies ablaze with hues kissed by twilight's breath, Sif stood tall before both Thor and Loki, adorned beautifully, yet boldly acknowledging struggles faced together, bonded tightly through love, unyielding against storms. Endured throughout times spent intertwined forevermore, through playful laughter shared amidst blooming petals fragrant in warm sunlight. Slowly shed remnants of despair left behind when first confronted with loss. With every step forward alongside Freya, each encouraging smile exchanged a newfound sense of purpose blossomed within. Thus concluded this chapter woven tightly between fate entwined around love, forged amidst trials, faced bravely onward into future, awaiting further adventures yet unseen. As the sun rose over Asgard, its golden rays spilled into Sif and Thor's home, filling the space with warmth and light. Loki's return from Svartalfheim was met with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. He carried magical strands woven by skilled dwarves, shimmering in colors that captured both beauty and power. Yet, the weight of guilt for his previous mischief lingered in his heart. Stood before her mirror, her reflection still raw from loss. He hesitated as Loki approached, holding out the wondrous strands like an offering. A moment felt heavy with unspoken emotions. He placed them upon her head. They cascaded down her shoulders like liquid gold, their luminance captivating her gaze. Each strand caught the sunlight in a dance of glimmers that whispered secrets of transformation. First, Sif felt a flutter of uncertainty deep within her soul. New locks truly represent who she was. They were indeed beautiful, but starkly reminded her of what had been cruelly taken away. However, as she turned this way and that before the mirror, something began to stir within a realization that perhaps this change could signify more than mere vanity. Just then, his strong frame contrasted against the golden light pouring through their windows. Held Sif, adorned anew in shimmering hair infused with powerful magic. His heart swelled with admiration. There was resilience in this transformation, an embodiment not only of outer beauty, but also of strength, forged through trials endured together. He stepped closer to Sif, taking in how those luminous strands accentuated every curve of her features that glowed as if alive. A smile broke across his rugged face as he gently touched one delicate lock, flowing past her shoulder, a silent acknowledgement that true worth transcends appearances. Rhea arrived shortly thereafter, sensing the rich atmosphere swirling around them all. Her presence brought comfort like a soft embrace wrapped around Sif's spirit. She understood deeply what it meant to navigate vulnerability while embracing newfound strength. Together they shared laughter-filled moments among friends. Joyous stories exchanged brought renewed hope to their hearts as they embraced the changes awaiting them. Those quiet hours spent together beneath Asgard's watchful skies, the understanding blossomed. Though circumstances may alter our paths unexpectedly, or others' actions might disrupt harmony sought so longingly, it is how we choose to rise above those moments that ultimately defines us. This marked a new beginning not just for Sif, but for all gathered under Asgard's watchful skies. Students born from trials faced hand in hand became threads woven intricately throughout their fates destined toward adventures, yet untold waiting patiently beyond horizons brightening forevermore.